All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the U Spray podcast with my man Todd Smith and Mitch. What's going on, bro? How are you?
Good?
Good. That's what I like to hear. You're always good, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm either good or I'm great.
Yeah, 100%. So, what I wanted to chat about today is the biggest problem that I think facing painters and small businesses in general, right? And we've touched on this on, at times over previous episodes, but I think the biggest challenge, and this is, my own opinion, but also talking to painters on a regular basis, is staff, basically. Retention of good staff, finding good staff is also an issue. And I want to deep dive into that a little bit. I've got my, sort of theories about why it's an issue and why it's hard. But I feel like it's, productivity for a lot of businesses is getting lower. It's not going up because I feel like, there's more entitlement. People are, look, I don't, lazy, you'd call it to some degree, but look, let's not even call it lazy. It's ticking boxes. I turn up, get my day's work done, and that's it. And I want to be paid really well for it. Now, the problem is with that for businesses is expenses are going up regularly. Paint price rises, all the time, like stuff to do with your office, electricity, just anything in life, fuel. Expenses are going up. And to hold good staff, wages are going up. And to get good staff has to be high wages. But hourly rates aren't going up to match that. So margins are becoming tighter and tighter, which starts pressure, right? Stress, all that stuff we're talking about. Now, the only way to fix that is either you got to bring expenses down or sales productivity have to go up. Now, expenses in this day and age, I think, are hard to bring down, but it's about you've got to push that gap open. Now, one of the ways that I know, and I think it's crazy if you're not doing it, is obviously through spray, because you can have less labour, expenses down, but you get through more work, so you can create that bigger buffer. So I think if people aren't spraying in this day and age, you're not going to last for a long time, or you need to be happy
really
making
good.
Yeah. You need to be working for the right person, hourly rate, no variables, and make your, 5-10%, whatever you're happy with. But I'm talking about guys that want to be making 20% plus, right? And I know Daryl mentioned on his a post the other day, you want to be making around that, and I totally agree with him. That's Daryl Hathaway. But yeah, through spray that can be done, right? But that's one way to do it, and I think guys are stuck on. I think there's guys out there. Another way that they can put the sales up is actually putting their prices up, and how I see that is these guys that say, I'm booked out for 6 months, I'm booked out for 10 months, I'm booked out for 12 months. And my thing is, your prices are too cheap.
Yeah.
And something that hit me straight between the eyes, I was listening to this Alex Hormozy podcast, and this guy came to him with an issue about a restaurant and how they're booked out months in advance, booked out, but they're quiet on Mondays and Tuesdays, and I think they were so on Wednesdays. But the rest of the week, flat out, weekend, Lowe's booked out more than a few months. They said, oh, like we don't, like, we're just not making heaps of money though. We're booked out and we're not. And his immediate response, you need to put your prices up. And they're like, well, yeah, but we'll lose customers. He's like, yeah, but you'll make heaps more money. And it's like, hold on. And then he started unpacking. He's like, okay, you're 3 months, 6 months ahead. You raise your prices by 10, 20%. You're only 3 months ahead. That's still really, really good.
Yeah.
Or 2 months ahead, but you're making more money.
Yeah.
And he said, what else we do is you put the prices up for the busy days, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturday, Sunday. If Saturdays and Sundays are your busiest day, they should go, the prices, there should be a surcharge for Saturday, Sunday. And then he said, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays, you offer a discount.
Yeah.
So what you're actually going to find is that you're going to push people on those other busier days to Monday, Tuesday. So and Wednesday, they'll become busy then, which will free up for your customers to push further in line that want to come on the weekends. And you are separating those expenses and sales drastically and increasing your profit margins. Because sales doesn't really matter. Expenses doesn't. It's what's in between.
Yeah.
Because that's your money.
Yeah.
That's what the business is making. So I love how that was said. And what I think is that, guys, 6 months in advance, you are too cheap. You are way too cheap. And if an opportunity comes up to jump on a job at short notice that someone said, I really need you to do it, mate, I don't care, I want you to do it, just price it. So it's like, there's the emotion there that they need you to do it and get it done, then you've got time in your schedule to be able to do and capitalise on that opportunity to make good money. But if you decrease your prices and you're only there at 3 months, you're going to be making heaps more money, and 3 months is a good buffer. Like, that's 12 weeks.
And the thing is, they're not only are they too cheap now, but it's like, bro, how many price rises in the world are you going to have between now and 6 months from now? So it's like, what looks like all right margin now is just gets reduced every single day, because it's like electricity goes up, petrol goes up, and paint goes up every couple of days or maybe a week. Like all these things happen, and it's like, how can you possibly be prepared for that? People quit. People, it's just like, how can you possibly be prepared in 6 months from now? And there's this weird thing where they're probably in their mind thinking, I'm prepared. I'm 6 months in advance. It's like, no, you're not. You can't be.
And then it's like, if and I think where you should be running at is sort of winning, 30 to 40% of your quotes. If you're earning more than that, you're too cheap. That's the metrics that I look at and think, and I feel like a lot of guys waste a lot of times doing quotes for tire kickers, right? And in a lot of instances, what I used to do was, if it was a small job or something, not much, I'd like, can you take some photos and give me some measurements and provide a ballpark, quick little ballpark. And if they say, yep, that's around what I was thinking, go out and do it. You can sort of, quantify that they're an actual, want to get it done, and they're not just wasting your time. And I think people need to be better at doing that.
Do you think it's people are just like, because quoting is such a emotional process, because it's like, you win some, you lose some, you win some, you lose some. So it's like, if you're 6 months in advance, you can basically eliminate the quoting side. So it's like, would that be why they're doing it? Because you think that's the annoying part. That's why you should charge more. But it's like, did you see that as, because the guys, when you talk to guys, bro, I'm booked out for like 8 months. I just think to myself, like, yuck.
I just think you're too cheap. Like, you know what I mean? And the way I see it, right, is what you're going to find out, right, in that instance is two things. You're really good at what you do, or you're too cheap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's some guys that might put up their prices and still be 6 months booked out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe you look at putting them up again. Maybe you're way too far. Like maybe you're at 60 an hour and everyone else in the market's charging 90. You know what I mean? And you don't know that. But I was actually talking to friends of ours the other day who's a hairdresser, and she's like, I've got no time for new bookings, and I'm going to have to, like, I only want to work a few days a week, but I'm probably going to have to open up and work another day, but I really want the lifestyle balance, and I might have to do 2 days, and they've got 3 young kids. And she goes, I just don't know what to do. And I just said, put your prices up. And she's like, but, I don't want to upset my loyal customers. I said, you'll find out if they're loyal.
Yeah.
Because you do a great job. I know you do a great job. My wife goes to you to get her hair done. Like, I'm that confident people will pay you for the service that you deliver. So, and if they don't, then you don't really want to be working with anyway. But there's a flip side to that. Say if you've got 12 people you cut hair for and you're booked out all the time. Say if that drops to 8,
Yep.
but you're getting at that price, 4 new spots can open up, which you get people coming in wanting to get in all the time. You get them at the price that you want. All of a sudden, you go on a 3 day, you're staying at your 3 days.
Yeah.
And she goes, like on that, I might even be able to do less. Like she does like 3 12-hour days. And I'm just like, if you're good at what you do, you should be paid for it. That's it.
And the thing is, you shouldn't feel bad of the possibility of a client being upset. The thing is like, they're only upset because they're not as good as you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, then you'll quickly, like you just said, you'll quickly find out if it's a price-driven reality or not.
Yeah.
And it's like, you shouldn't feel bad because they're not prepared to offer what your value is. 'Cause at the end of the day, like, you are the best.
Yeah, well, it's like, do you deliver a great service to your clients? Yes. Do they love getting their hair cut by you? Yes. Okay. Do you have great relationships with them? Yes. Give me one reason why, if you said it's an extra $20 a haircut, that they're not going to do it.
And the thing is like, you can't please everyone. So it's like,
no,
you're either going to upset people because you're too expensive, or you're already upsetting people because you don't have enough time to do everyone.
Yeah.
So it's like, the guys that want you, give them what they want.
Yeah.
The guys that only want you for the price, then
tell
them to fuck off.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. It's just like, and it's like, I don't want to upset them. It's like, you're upsetting someone else already.
Yeah.
So it's like, just choose who you want to upset.
Yeah, and it's like, and you talk to people like that, they say, I feel bad if I charge more. And it's like, well,
maybe you're not
will you feel bad if you don't, will you feel bad if you can't go to your daughter's concert at school because you got to work? Will you feel bad about that? Or will you feel bad charging Tina and a few others $20 extra so you can go do that? So I know what I do. So that's the thing that you need to think about, and that's where I think a lot of painters are stuck. It's like they're working their absolute ass off, and if you're good at what you do, you should be making money for it. Yeah. Like that's how the world operates. So business owners out there, I think they really need to look at the numbers, really look what they're charging, and if they're booked out for ages, then they need to look. And it's the same thing for people. If you're only booked out 2 weeks in advance, you're probably charging too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you're too expensive, or your service isn't good enough. Yeah. And it can work both ways. But yeah, I feel like it's challenging for employees, but so I'm talking about ways that you can look to improve that. And I think the biggest pressure being put on small business at the moment, it's obviously people are paying big money at certain places to bring on workers, good employees. But one thing is the NDIS scheme, right? Now, I think the NDIS scheme's great, and I think it's doing what it's meant to do, is to um, help people with a disability, and so they can live, live better lives, good quality of life, and I get that. What I disagree with is the fact that you can have no skill set, no experience, no certificate, and walk in as a disability worker and get. Oh, look, I've heard across the board, but I've heard like from 35 to 60 an hour, depending on who you're with and what you're doing, right? And you've got tradesmen out there that are on 35 wages and they've done 4 years of TAFE and they're a tradesman. And then you've got childcare workers, looking after young children that they don't even get that. Mm. And I've got a friend of mine that owns a few cafes, so he has a lot of baristas working for him. Now, since this scheme's come along, he's got people, it used to be like $25 to $30 an hour for a decent barista. Now they're 40 minimum. It's because they're turning around and saying, I'm going to go be a disability worker unless you pay me more. Right? So it's putting pressure on small business that you can just walk in somewhere, no certification, no skill set, and get that kind of money. And it makes it hard because, people are just walking into that. I know so many, like I've spoken to painters and that's like, oh yeah, this guy left for disability work, this person left for disability. And I hear it across all small business and I'm like, that needs to be regulated. Like that is, why is everything else, hourly rate being paid so small and require all this certification, all these skills, and you can do that? I don't agree with that. And that's probably, something that irks me, and I see, small business really struggling, and that's pushing. Those wages were already moving, but now they're moving up and up because of that. It's like, do I keep it's what you were talking about, someone saying, I want more money using leverage from an offer over there. But it's like, they're not apples for apples. I'm going to a job here. I'm like, how do you argue that? I'm going to a job here. I don't need any skills. It's, I just do this and that. No certification. I'm going to get this. You pay this. And you're just like, how? So anyway, what's your thoughts on that?
I thought of a couple things. Like, well, first off, we're just saying there, like, there's this weird entitlement that makes people feel like they're better than they really are. And, sometimes I wonder on the flip side, because I keep thinking about like painters, and it's like, honestly, I think the thing we have for us that's going to be best for us is the fact that we're the man. We know we're good. And we're pretty confident we do. We know we're the best. We're trying every day to be better. Yeah. We're 1%ers. Every day get better. But it's like you have some of these painters that start off that way, but it's like they get put in this like box where it's like, no, painter, you need us. You need us as a paint company. And without us, you're nothing. And they genuinely believe that. And it's like and so it kind of discredits their ability as a painter. Yeah. And so now they're locked in this system. I work for a builder. Guys go, like, I work for a builder because the work's always there. And it's like, I hate it, but it's like, I need the consistency in the work, whatever. And it's like, yeah, but then there's like this, now you're basically shedding off some of your skill set or some of your value by just compromising. And it's like, and the paint companies know this. Yeah. This is why they incentivize the builder, not the painter. And it's just like, I can't leave because, this or whatever the reason is. It's like, bro, you absolutely can leave. You can, you can go here and say $5 a drum. How many drums did you use last year? 2,000. That's 10 grand, bro. Like, what are we talking about? Like, nobody there loves you that much to where it's worth not making an extra 10 grand. Yeah. For your family and for your kids. And it's like, it pisses me off because it's like, no paint company, Your paint's great, just like theirs and everybody else's. But it's like, at the end of the day, your paint looks shit if I put it on the wall. But if Mitch puts it on the wall, it looks fucking good. And it's like, that's the reality. And it's like, it doesn't matter what the paint is. And it's like, so many people are getting shafted because they genuinely believe I must use this. Or they don't have the balls to go, you know what, Builder? Just like, there's not enough painters out here. So either you let me use what I want and fuck your rebate, or I'm going to leave. But it's like, they get put in this, like, there's like lack of self-esteem or something, like, I'm just not good enough if I don't have this. And they get stuck in this price war.
Yeah.
And it's like, they can't get out because they don't think they're good enough. And it's like, bro, you're better. If you're better than everyone else, you should charge more.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't sacrifice that, because as soon as you're negotiable, you can get exposed by every paint company in the world, bro. And it's like, I would hate to know the amount of money that painters lose just because they have to use Dulux, or they have to use Waddle, or they have to use Tolman's. And it's like, you don't have to, bro.
Yeah.
You know, it sucks having to change.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing that this is my gripe with so many painters. They use the brand. I use Dulux paints, right?
Or I'm a master painter.
Yeah. I'm accredited, right?
Yeah, I'm accredited.
On this, right? On this and that. And what that tells me is that you're not the brand.
Yes.
Right? But you're the one putting it on the walls. You're the one paying the bills.
Often overs.
Yeah. So are you not, like, you want to tell me how good you are, but you mustn't be that good if you're relying on them, if you're relying, and that's the same thing we see in the spray thing. It's like with, Greycoats and Wagners, where guys, I'm the painter, I'm the sprayer, I'm doing this, but I'll buy a Greycoat or I'll buy a Wagner, and then shit hits the fan, and it's like, they whinge about it. And it's like, do something about it. Here's an option. But then you quickly realise they're just whinging, you know what I mean? And they think that by going to the brand like paint or machine or whatever, it's just like, that's going to do all the heavy lifting for you. What you quickly realise, it's all well and good to do that. If that's the way you want to run your business, that's the way you can do it. But if you haven't experienced it, you're going to experience it at some stage. Paint, spray guns, whatever, is you're going to get into a pickle, you're going to have a problem, warranty claim or something, and you're going to find out really quickly that the brand that you hide behind and rely upon doesn't actually give a shit about you at all. And I've had it with warranty claims before, and it was plain as day that the paint failed. You could see it and got tested, came back fine, and then it was, I didn't prep it properly. And that's what I mean. It'll just keep going, and it'll blame the painter, blame the painter, blame the painter. Well, you know what? If it's on me and I'm the brand, then I'm owning it. It's me. And I buy paint from you because I choose to. I buy spray guns for you because I choose to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you don't own me. Like, because if you're going to carry all the risk, like, you know what I mean? It might as well be that. And that's what guys don't realise as well. And look, I talk to guys about this too, like just talking about expenses and sales and stuff. Amount of guys, I'm like, oh yeah, you like, what are you paying for paint? Like, what are you paying 15? Oh, like $200. I'm like, what? Like,
buy it from Bunnings.
oh, that's right. Yeah. It's like, what do you mean? I'm like, have you like checked in with any other paint manufacturer what you can get it for? Like, oh, no. Is the service that good? Do they drop paint to you on site? Do they come and wash your dog and do your lawns?
Extra feet.
And they're like, no, the service isn't that great. Well, what are you doing? Like, you could, like, if you could get 10%, right, or even 20% reduction on your paint, because paint's paint, spray guns are spray guns, it's more important who's using it than the product itself. And if you don't understand that, then, yeah.
Bro, what I was thinking just there when you were saying that, going back to accredited or whatever. So to become accredited, you got to, for any system, any accredited program, you have to abide by certain guidelines, rules, whatever. Okay, so it's like, and this just highlights when you're saying it all comes down to the brand. And I get it. Like going in there is great to like leverage the brand, as you should be doing in the first place. You know, we're accredited, so this is why we charge more. But the thing is they all go in there like just stamps of the same thing. And what happens is you get in this situation where it's like, okay, here's my quote. Oh man, you're like $2,000 more expensive, $5,000 more expensive, whatever. Oh, it's because I use Dulux. Oh, they use Dulux. Or because I'm Dulux credited. Or they're Dulux credited. So I'm not, the only leverage you have now is I'm cheaper. And it's like anyone with a brain will go, same thing, why would I pay more? It's like I could buy Graco from here, I could buy Graco from there. It's $1,500 cheaper over here. Only more would go there and buy it. You know, this is why it's weird because it's like, but anyway, so realistically, price is the only value add proposition. And so it's like, that's the problem. And it's like, instead of worrying about that, it's like, bro, I'm the best because I use this system. We do all these quality checks. We do all this. We do whatever. We paint this extra. We wash this. Whatever it is. It's like that's why you pay more. And it's like that's gone. And so it's like everyone, you know, oh, we use Dulux. It's the best. Really? Maybe not. I don't know. But you're the best. You know, and it's like I'm accredited. It's like, so what? There's infinity accredited guys. Everyone that pays the money is accredited. So it's like, basically what you're saying is if I go to Dulux and I pay whatever, $2,000 a year to become accredited, they'll take my money. We're the same. Is that what you're saying? It's not the case. But it's this weird, like,
it means nothing. It's just like painters I've seen over the years that say, I'm a tradesman, and then they do 10 minutes of work. I'm like, get out. You're like, and the thing is just, you know, just going back to my point before, bro, it's like, it's my biggest strength and my biggest weakness, and you know this better than anyone. I have this thing where if someone comes to me with a problem, I'm wanting to fix it. And I've just got a natural coach thing. Like, if anyone wants to know how annoying it is, you can just ask my wife, who she wants to tell me something and vent, and I want to coach her up. She doesn't want to hear it. But then a couple of days later, she'll come back and said, oh, someone said this to me. I think I'll do that. That's a great idea. I'm thinking, that sounds kind of, you know, exactly what I said. But the fact of the matter is she didn't want to hear that. She wanted to vent to me, but I just have a habit where I can't control myself. But anyway, however we get there. But it's the same with painters, man. Like when painters come in and talk to me, like, I don't like hearing people, you know, feeling shitty and they're like, man, I can't make money. I'm like, why? He's like, I said, what are you charging? Charge more. Oh, what are you spraying? Oh, like I've hardly sprayed. Why? He's like, oh, just not confident. Come and buy a gun and do a training course. You'll make it back straight away. Like, oh, nah. And then it's like, I said, how much you paying for paint? Oh man, like almost $200 a drum or 180, whatever. It's like, bro, go to these places and say, I want to open an account. This is how much I spend a year. What can you do for me? And I said, like, and then they're like, oh no, don't do that. And it's just immediately like, well, you're just whinging. You know what I mean? You don't actually want to get better and be helped, and you're just going to stay that. And it's the same with spraying that for us. Like anyone that wants to learn, anyone that wants to know how they can save 10, 20% on their paint consumption. You know what I mean? Increase 10%, 10 to 20% in sales just by doing more jobs through spray, then we're here to help. But if you know everything, then and just want to whinge, then you know you keep charging. But that alone, bro, when I talk to people about the paint prices, if you can get that drop 10 to 20%, if your paint bills say $100,000 a year, that is 10 to 20 grand. Like, what do you mean? Why is that a second? I just do that. Well, bro, then like what? That's a holiday. Buy 5 spray guns. Like whatever you want to do, but like deposit, like put it towards a deposit for a house. Obviously, that's not a deposit, but you do that for 5 or so years. You got a deposit just by saving your paint. Like.
And the thing is like the reality is sometimes guys can't pay more to keep an employee. It's like if you save 20 grand a year,
Yeah.
You got $5,000 to keep your best employee.
Exactly
10,000 to keep
right.
your best employee. And it's like,
Exactly right.
you know, the Dulux Waddle Tolmans are not going to be paying your employee.
I can tell you one thing. Well, I can tell you one thing about a spray gun.
Doesn't call in sick.
It doesn't call in sick. It doesn't have annual leave. It has maintenance days some days, and it doesn't whinge or talk back. So, one reason that you should consider it. But yeah, I thought that was a bit more, business orientated, hearing about my experiences being in business and Toddy's outlook, talking to a lot of painters. So, hope that's helpful for someone out there. Once again, we're always here to elaborate on anything that we said. And yeah, thanks for joining us for another episode of the U Spray podcast. Until next time, keep spraying.